Everyone, Wednesday, Pashas Kesiso. So today we'll be more specific in the Chinuch. What's the mission of our Chinuch? There's a gewaltige Wort in Ksav Sefer in Pashas Eike. Goes in the Pasuk on when the Madatem Oisam as Bneichem, Dabar Bom, the Pasuk will say twice a day. The Madatem Oisam as Bneichem, Dabar Bom. You should teach your kids, your sons, your children. When you're at home, the question remains, Ksavsev is asking, why it says so that's his order. The Ksavsev defines what he's answering, and his answer will define us, will provide us with a very clear knowledge, or clear understanding what's the mission of our chinuch, what's the image of the chinuch, proper chinuch. Dehinai, hatoyre tilu hachiyuv ala ovesh sheilmedi b'nei v'chanachim b'toyre. Torah imposed on parents responsibility to teach their kids to be mechanach v'toyre mitzvahs. Aval lo dai sheiyu mashgichem alaychem. But it's not enough for parents to have overseers on their children's way, so we'll get to follow Derech Hashem only out of fears, to be like a helicopter on your kids. These overseers of parents, it will provide the kids that fears and to follow Derech Hashem only when they're nearby their parents. When the parents are not around the kids, or kids are not around the parents, when their kids are on their own somewhere on the way, because they were constantly they were following Derech Hashem out of fears because of their parents. Once they're abandoning themselves from the parents and they are somewhere on their own, they just will drop Derech Hashem and they just do whatever they want. Therefore, the Torah commands, Torah requesting us, parents, that we should use the language and we should use the chinuch. Alive b'nayim dvora meskavelem alalev v'yechokaku bohem imina v'das. The chinuch is, Ksav Sefer saying, that we should talk and be mechan our kids in such manner that the words in the chinuch should provide and ingrain in the heart of our children, in the heart and the mind of our kids, in mina v'das. And then and then this kind of chinuch will provide the kids with certain stability that will never drop off of derech chaim. Va'ishmer mitzvahs Hashem ad acharis, and until the end of their days, they will keep and they will follow Derech Hashem. Meaning, Ksavsev is saying, they should guide and you should be mechanic your kids in a manner of that you should be secure. Your heart should be secure. You should not be worried. When you will get older, or even when the parents are not going to be in this world anymore, you will lose that hashgacha. Still the child, the children, the son or daughter will still keep Derech Hashem. You should provide your kids with such chinuch that this chinuch should remain not only not only when the child is with you together in your home together with you, but also when the child goes out, when he's on his own, he should be also he should also follow Derech Hashem whenever he is. It's a very important nakud that comes out from Ksav Sefer. Ksav Sefer, again, one of the biggest poiskim in Klal Yisrael. He gives us a very clear understanding what's the mission of the chinuch is. Chinuch is the start of the process where parent has to provide for a child that independency. So you will keep the Torah and the mitzvahs and mitzvahs not only when child is nearby parents, But also when the child finds himself somewhere on his own, he should also follow up that chinuch that he was provided with at the younger years. We should put efforts today, so the efforts that we're putting in today will influence on the child's behavior in future when he gets bigger. Meaning to say that we should put efforts in the mechanech. We should provide the child with that chinuch today at the younger years. So when he gets older, he will conduct his life according to the chinuch that he received at younger years when he's independent. So it points out a very clear understanding that the conventional way of being mechanech the kids with the punishments or prizes or anything else won't provide the child with that chinuch. So the chinuch that will guide him and will be within him all across his life, will carry him out all across his life. He'll make him independent conductor, that he will follow up the chinuch he was given. Because the onshim, the punishments and the prizes technically did not give him that chinuch, did not give any kind of education, any kind of chinuch. So as Ksavsev is saying, the aim on chinuch, the outlook on chinuch is that we have to provide the child, we have to talk to a child, we have to train in child, we have to be mashpia, influence mashpia the child. So with we have to use such wordings, we have to use such actions, so this action will influence on him and will hold him, will build him to be independent when he will be older, so he will be independently able to conduct his life according to the chinuch he received at younger years. So that's the outlook on chinuch. The question remains, how do we succeed? How do we succeed? How can we succeed to ingrain in the child that kind of behavior at younger years, so this behavior will remain and will go along with him all across his life? As we said before, the punishments, constantly being strict with the child, the fact shows that it does not help, does not give any kind of positive results. Maybe locally at that time, and that local location, the younger years, it will help to prevent child of doing certain stuff at younger years. But once the child's independent, is not at home with his parents, he just does whatever he wants. So is giving prizes. Prizes really does not provide with chinuch. It just also comes down to the child at current time. But again, when he goes and find himself at different locations, when he is not at home with his parents, he just does whatever he wants. I'm not saying right now, I'm not confirming that the kid should not be punished or should not be granted the prizes. It's a shmiz. We have a share on its own. But if for sure, is won't provide the kids, one ingrained in the kids' souls and the kids' behaviors and kids' emotions, certain malach hachaim, the ways of how to live the life. So now we have to know what's the way. How do we succeed to have that fine line and ingrain in certain dynamics in the child at younger years, so this dynamics will influence on his life, not only now but in the future, far future as well. So we look at the Rambam. The Rambam Masechtas Uves states as follows. I will give a little example. We as adults, we get encouraged to do certain actions after we understand what's the action about. They need to say first, the adults go first education. First we'll learn, we study. And after we have a grip on the knowledge, so then we'll follow the knowledge, we'll do the actions. It's all across in anything in life. First, adult needs to understand. And then after he has self-understood on their levels, understanding in the action, then they follow up with their knowledge. The knowledge gives them, encourages them to follow up with in applying their practical life. However, it's lav dafka right way of conducting the life. Because some people, even perceptionally, they know if they get ignited at the time to do to follow up with their knowledge, but the knowledge, later on we see it just dying off and people going back to where they started. The success in the Chinuch, success that we're talking specifically in Chinuch, is not education. Chinuch does not mean education. Chinuch means an action, the action of reincurrency. Hergel. The action of reincurrency, that's what Chinuch is. The Taich. Meaning, Zukt Rambam sagt as follows, Hinai. Duber zeh miskem ulof mi filosofim shehergen amalis. This is, Rambam says, is miskem ulof. Everybody agrees to it in the philosophy as well. Shehergen amalis, as a person just choizer, reincurrencing the midos, k'shiagden lechochma tshia kinyan chuzak. First, a person does constantly does certain midah, choizer and that midah, repeating it. It will ingrain in him certain these reputations, will ingrain in him kinyan chozak, very strong kinyan. After you were koine, you got that ingrained within you, that kinyan in the midah, then you have to educate yourself about the midah. As more you first started to do, and then you educate yourself about what you're doing, this way, Dr. Rambam, Yosef Simche v'ahave v'chochme, it will, the chochme will just add the spice of simche, in love to the action that you're doing. Not only, it will add the ambitious to the action you're doing. Versus if you first educate yourself, then you get encouraged to do. Then Rama says it becomes too late, because with Rama says gewaltige word. The word is that people usually wait till the mechanah their kids, when the kids get a little more seichel, and they're trying to educate the kids. So they start to explain them, to teach them to take apart stuff, and so the kids understand, and hopefully they will, the understanding will encourage the kids to follow up with their education. It's a mistake, Ramos says. We are doing the same mistake with the kids, the same mistake we're doing with our own selves. We think that those things that first we need to understand, and then we will do it when we'll follow up with our understanding and do and execute the action. However, Ramazuk is arbitisch. Sometimes the education or people don't get that deep understanding in the action, and demoralizing them to follow with their action. Well, anything, people get educated, people get information, other things come up, and other habits are coming in, and the education is not always in power to dispute the habits. The proper way is, it's especially for kids, Rama says, don't wait till the kids get smart. Don't get till kids get big, and so you get that opportunity to teach them and educate them. No, start to encourage them just to do the action of reincurrency, repetition. That's what chinuch is about. It's not about, I was using in past the word education, but it's not education. Chinuch is actions of reincurrency. That's what chinuch is. You take one midah, you constantly repeating it, and doing it nachamol again and again and again and again and again. So you take the child, you don't explain him, you don't teach him, don't educate them what's the midah is about. Do statement azoi, do statement that's what we're doing because of that, because of this, because of that. It's no. It just give them the midah that you feel it's important. Self-understood has to be very proportionally, very appropriate to the age of the child. We'll discuss it. And give him the midah and let him repeat it again and again and again. Let him become his routine in life, daily routine. Twice a day, once a week, twice a week, twice a day, doesn't matter. It should become part of the routine, and let him make it as a habit. That's part of his daily routine, doing certain actions. But again, I would like to make it clear: Chinuch is not education. Chinuch is not teaching. Chinuch is not studying. Chinuch is action of recurrency. As more you encourage the child to recurrence, to repeat again and again, as more this action will ingrain within him, within his soul, and he would just be doing it. He's going to be doing just subconsciously, constantly. So when he gets bigger, he will just find himself not being together with his parents, but the action that was ingrained with him habitually within him will just follow up with him, and doing it over and over. He won't associate this action with the fears of his parents. It's just part of him, of his inner soul, of part of his daily routine. It's his habit. Let's say the same way as taking showers. People take showers because not the kids, the bucherem, the kids are taking showers not only because of the parents. It just became a certain routine that they're taking showers twice a week, every day, whatever, doesn't matter. And even though when they find themselves not being together with the parents, they're still taking the showers because it got ingrained with their routine, with their inner self. That's what I do. That's my habit. It's not even a question to take showers because it's just what I do. And the habit is so powerful that when a person won't follow up with this habit, he will feel like discomfort. Someone told me once a story that when he does not take a shower, let's say every day, he gets fever. Why? So he was asking me if it's normal behavior that he gets a fever in a day when he doesn't take a shower. Certainly a little bit, overreaction, but this overreaction comes because based on his habits that he was doing since he's a child till today's day. It's just part of his life. And it goes, this action of recurrency, be'etzem, it plays out in both ways, positive behaviors, negative behaviors. So remember, if we'll spend too much time to educate the kids, and we'll wait till they will understand the concepts, they will get a brain development, a grip on the concepts, and to swallow the concept. Remember, in between this time, kids are catching certain habits, which is very strong habits, and that's very hard to get rid of them at later ages. You have to be very, very smart, very strong-minded, very having very, very strong nafshes to get rid of the habits. So, but the chinuch has no shayches, has no association with the brain development. Chinuch is again action of recurrency. Rambam states weiter in that Perish Mishnah is that the habit is so strong that it can twist the knowledge. Meaning to say, even the people know that certain habits that they adopted in their lives are not the best habits, and they know, and even they have material how to get rid of these habits. It's still very hard to get rid of the habits. There's a power of action for recurrence is very powerful. Because it's very powerful, therefore that's what Chinuch is about. There's no stronger way to ingrain in child and positive behavior, but by action of recurrency. So that's the mission of the Chinuch. If we'll ask again that question. So what's the mission of Chinuch? How do we do Chinuch? Chinuch is hergel. Chinuch is taking certain action and let the child just keep on to repeat it again and again and again and again. That's the Chinuch. And it will prevent the child. There's two benefits out of it. First, it will prevent the child to adopt bad habits, and because he'll be just focusing on adopting and encourage the positive behaviors. And number two, which is the most important, it will go so deep within his soul that even though when he will find himself alone with no one, he will still follow up with the positive deeds that he adopted as a child. That's exactly what the Ksaf is saying. It's we are keep on being like a helicopters on the heads of children, but it's the fact shows that this helicopter it shows only when the children are with us, but we just well limited. We're not no one stays here whatever for the for whatever in this world. And so when the child gets the first opportunity to be independent, he just becomes rebellion and just do whatever he wants to do. Why? We invested so much work in him, we just gives so much we're so strict discipline. What happened? Why this whole discipline and being strict and prices did not influence on the child to be, when he's independent, should be a normal being? The answer for it is because it's not the chinuch. Chinuch is not onshim, punishments, prizes, discipline. Chinuch is actions of recurrency. Give him the midah, provide him with the midas, and let him repeat it again and again and again until it becomes a habit. There is no stronger power. There's nothing stronger than habit, and that's the chinuch is. When we observe our day, how we relate to our kids, we'll find that majority of commands that we'll give to our kids is what not to do. Don't do that. Don't say this. Don't say that. Don't eat this. Don't think so. Don't everything. Not what not to do. The majority of commands that we are releasing to our kids is what not to do. What not to do is not the chinuch. It's not the chinuch. Again, because as I said before, chinuch is action of recurrency. When you're saying child not to do, you're not giving the opportunity for a child to do something, because that's the chinuch is. You're actively doing actions of recurrency. So to tell child for not to do is bechlal has no shaykh, has no connection to chinuch. To concept, and in the concept of chinuch does not contain the commands of not doing, not to do. The chinuch is all about of what to do, what to do and how we do it. That's the chinuch. And this is so this secret of the chinuch is being discovered in Toisus. Toisus sagt das Nuzer, the Professor advice the Waramaska Bnoi. Toisus is saying very clearly, the chinuch lo shayach el lazhiroi la'asois ula kaima mitzvah. Chinuch is only when you're telling to a child what to do the mitzvah. To tell the child not to do is not considered chinuch. It's a very gewaldige side in the whole concept of chinuch. It's as we said with Shem Rashi. Chinuch is ascholas k'nisa ha'odom, ascholas k'nisa l'mashi usid la'avad boy. Chinuch is introduction to the job in which he will be. You introducing the child in job which he will be, and you're giving that action to him, and you're telling him what to do, and let him just repeat it, do again and again and again. And this will make the child grow, develop, and be independent. Independent does not mean we're perceiving independence as a shtickle rebellion, a form of rebelliancy, but it's not. It's be'etzem independence. We'll talk about our shiurim, the beauty of being independent. Independence is one of the most wonderful manners in life, to be independent. Independence is not rebellion. Independence is a child, is a man or a female who are conducting their lives with being under an influence that they receive as at the childhood stages. So that's what Toys is saying. Chinuch is to tell the child what to do, to prevent him of not doing bad deeds. It's not called a chinuch. It's just a local protection you're putting upon the child, but you won't succeed anything. You will succeed to prevent the child of doing bad stuff, but still it becomes like a statue. He doesn't know what to do. His bakal is not a chinuch. We have to rewire our perception and accept that which is no one should feel bad about it if someone had the perception of punishments or not to the constantly tell what not to do. Don't feel bad that you had the perception, because many people have that perception, had or still have that perception. Chinuch is we have to rewire and put our focus on this understanding. Chinuch is we're telling the child what to do, and not only we're telling the child what to do, what kind of action to do. We're giving him the opportunity. We're giving him the action of recurrency. He should keep on repeating and doing again and again and again, and that's what chinuch is about. In order for parents to succeed in chinuch, their kids should be good. They should remain good. We have to understand that we have to try to get the child to do purposeful actions, and not only to do once or twice, but actions of recurrency, purposeful actions. I'll give examples. Very important examples. I think is very common in the, people have this nisyonos, this challenge with kids. Let's say a child yells, screams. Obviously, when child screams, there's certain pain that he's experiencing that moment. So we don't say to a child, "Schrei don't scream, don't scream." So when telling the child don't scream, there's a lot of negative impacts the child experienced at that moment. It was rejected. Whatever, we're not going to go that direction yet. But when the child screams and we tell the child don't scream, so we weren't the child right now. Don't scream is not the chinuch. So what's the chinuch? Chinuch is that's the way how we talk. If you want to vent, if the child is trying to vent because of certain experiences that he's experiencing at that time, at that moment, or from past, so we usually when child starts to scream, we saying don't scream. No, when this form should not be used. We should use that's the way how we express our feelings, by saying it kach v'kach. That's the way how we talk calmly. We talk calmly. We talk with respect. In actually saying, you're telling the child how we have to talk, but nachas and respectfully to express the feelings. That's how you express your feelings. Let's say when the child eats and he's being very messy when he's eating. So a conventional way of telling the child, why are you eating so messy? That's not the way we eat. That's not the way how we're eating the soup. But not the way how we eat the locutions. It's not the way. Don't be so messy. So this is right now we'll miss the opportunity of educating the child. Instead of telling the child stop being messy, we have to be mechanakim and tell him that's the way how we eat. We eat with a spoon, with a fork, with a knife. We eat it on the plate, and actually showing the child how we eat. But telling the child don't be so messy, that's not the way we eat. That's not the way. That's saying what not to do, how we don't eat. That's not called chinuch. Chinuch is we show the child how we eat. That's the way how we eat. We use the fork, spoon, and knife. And again, you get the child to the purposeful actions, but don't think about at the first time the child will get it. You have to do this action. It has to be again action of recurrency, constantly. Let's say the child is hyper and he's not behaving well. So the father tells the child, today we'll go to the shul, be like a big boy. Be like a big boy. That's not the way to talk. The father should address the child that you are in control and you know how to behave. You're in control of your feelings, of your emotions, how and when, how to behave and where to behave, and properly to behave. You are in control. You know what to do, and start to show him how to do it. He knows it. Yes, everybody knows it, but he needs to be educated. Again, educated is not a good aussprach, not a good definition, but he needs to be put in action, purposeful action. Again, I will I would like to make it very clearly what the chinuch is. Chinuch is not telling the child when child does some kind of certain negative behavior, negative talk, negative actions. You never tell to tell the child, don't move, don't do, stay quiet. We can't succeed with this. We can very much succeed to shut down the child. It might be something for the rest of his life, but we won't be able to succeed to be mechanic the child what to do and how to talk and how to behave. In order to be mechanic our kids so they adopt good behaviors, if we restrain the activity and give them a purpose, give them a purpose, and constantly take this action and encourage them, and that's what chinuch is about. So we'll go back to the question I asked at the beginning of the shiur. So what's the mission of chinuch? How we mechanech the kids? The answer for it is we are the action of reincarnation, not educating, not telling the child don't do so, don't do that, don't eat this way, don't talk this way. Also redt man nicht, also esst man nicht. That's not how we talk. That's not how we eat. No, chinuch is you get the child to do purposeful actions, number one, and number two, these actions should be recurrent constantly until it becomes a behavior, and then this action, these efforts will influence on the child's life, all across his life. Even though when he will be adult, he will still will know how properly eat and how properly behave in public, not only public, but in the chaveya, but in the mukam. So when he becomes independent, he will the recurrent action will have an impact on him still, and he will just become part. It will become part of his life, and his eating behaviors, and his seeing behaviors, and his talking behaviors, and that's what chinuch is about. And that exactly what Ksavsov is saying. We should talk to a kid's keywords. These keywords will ingrain in the heart and the mind of the kids, and will carry them all across the life. What kind of the wording we should use? Words of what to do, how to do, and what to do. And by doing that and recurring this action, we actually succeed in chinuch, and then we see a lot of nachas. Kol tov, hatzlacha rabba.